Lol.
GF got mad for not getting hard. My girlfriend slept over for the first time. My parents were gone for the weekend, so my GF was staying with me for the weekend. I had my parents' permission for her to come. They just didn't want her sleeping here while they were also here. We were very excited. In the morning she was showering while I was getting ready to go to work. I went into the bathroom and asked if she minds if I come in to shower with her since I need to shower before work. She happily let me in. She started acting weird and distracted. When I was done I gave her a hug and said goodbye and that I love her. She told me to just go to work already. I asked what was wrong and she said that she is really offended that I was soft the entire time I was showering with her and especially after the hug. I said it just wasn't a sexual situation for me and she said a real man would get hard at the sight of his nude GF especially after a hug and asked if I'm gay and told me to fuck off. I told her that I want her to leave so she did. Now she is texting me that she admits she overreacted a little but who can blame her? She has been texting me how upset she is that I ruined our first sleepover as a couple by kicking her out over minor reasons. What should I do about this? Should I have not kicked her out?
My husband is often soft when he asks me to go down on him. I would not have been offended if you were soft during a shower. It seems younger women think men are always rock hard. It may be her inexperience.
Given her age, it's quite possible any other partner she's had has gotten rock hard at the sight of even like, I don't know, an ankle. I think for most men, it takes until their late teens, early 20s until they stop getting turned on at the slightest mention of anything sexual. But then all men are different. Christ, I'm 27 and I still often get the horn while reading remotely suggestive posts on this subreddit. It's not even like it arouses me most of the time, it's just that my penis goes, "Oh, look, there's a sex thing, better get ready, I guess." Whereas some men need to achieve a higher rate of arousal than others to get the mechanics of their junk into action, same as women.
There is an old meme to the effect that, all it takes for a man to get an erection is for the wind to blow, so untrue. Results in expectations that just set people up for major disappointment, women and men, when they encounter reality.
I think for most men, it takes until their late teens, early 20s until they stop getting turned on at the slightest mention of anything sexual. I am almost 40, and I still get uncontrollably hard from seeing an ankle. But then all men are different. This is the answer. We all respond differently, and she's inexperienced and has only been around guys who respond a certain way and assumes they're all the same.
I agree her inexperience is probably to blame here. But your reaction to asking her to leave is spot on. She needs to learn how to navigate these situations with respect and compassion. If you flipped the table on the situation and say slipped a finger in her then chastised her for not being wet during the bathroom situation, you'd be the asshole and she'd be offended. People need to drop sexual expectations and work as partners to achieve their goals. Communication is the key.
I can never bring myself to ask my wife to go down on my brain thinks, if I have to ask, then she didn't want to. And then if she's doing something for me that she didn't want to, I'm being selfish and it feels wrong, therefore I would feel awkward the entire time. I'm probably overthinking it, but we are both overly considerate to the point where if we think one of us is tired, not in the mood, we won't initiate because we don't want to be selfish. We were recently joking about our lack of sex due to kids, tired, work, my pain flaring up, her pain no flaring up, etc. And I said, how do two overly considerate people have sex? They don't.
My husband and I have gone from politely asking for sex/head/etc. to things like glug glug, or even want me to sit on your face. We have a toddler, so if it happens it happens, but if not we will get it in when we have time. If you want something from your partner, just ask. They may be in the mood and you'd never know because it wasn't brought up or they thought you weren't in the mood.
This resonates so hard. Even implicitly asking for oral sex has already brought me to tears a couple of times because I feel selfish. Despite my partner's huge efforts to make me feel like it's okay. I don't think I'll ever be completely okay doing it. But talking about it has made him start it of his own free will more often. Which helps me mentally. I feel so grateful for his patience about this issue. Especially because I've been treated badly by others who manipulated me into thinking I should always want to give oral to them, but I wasn't worth the time and effort of getting it. I hope you guys can talk about it and find a way, because you seem nice people who love each other.
I seriously for the life of me cannot understand this conversation. Who cares about her inexperience? She's emotionally abusive. If the story was about a guy showing his naked body to a girlfriend, expecting sex right away and saying, "What are you, a lesbian, you fucking bitch?" when she's not interested at that moment, then telling her later that she overreacted, would we be entertaining a discussion about him being inexperienced and not understanding how female arousal works? Or would we just call this out for the emotional abuse that it is?
My ex was insecure, and abusive. I would come home after working a 12-hour shift and she, after being home entertaining her sisters, aunts or mother all day, would expect me to be so sexually excited to see her that she would demand I perform sexually for her. Then, before I would get up in the morning, she would want me to do it again just to make sure I have nothing left for anyone else. I would leave for work, she would go back to sleep, and then the routine would start all over again. God forbid I say anything about it and she would accuse me of getting it elsewhere or being gay. Yes, women get away with abusive behavior. Had the tables been turned around, I am sure I would have been thought of as being abusive.
My husband and I have showered together daily for the last 3 years and he's not always hard. He doesn't get hard unless he's turned on from staring at me. A lot of young people don't realize that men aren't always hard or don't get hard just because they find someone attractive, and social media / movies / shows don't help add to that belief.
No one should ever blame their partner for not getting hard or get petulant over it. Also, I think you know your body well enough to know that just the sight of a naked lady is not enough generally to get hard, and, even if it was, penises can be unpredictable in terms of going hard or soft. You weren't wrong for kicking her out.
No, you were right. She acted like garbage. I mean, had she asked if something was wrong and been a little more calm about it, I could see it. But getting mad and questioning your masculinity was not okay. She will almost certainly do this again and again and again. If you really want to try to work it out, explain to her that if she has concerns about things, sexual included, she should absolutely speak to you about it, but that it's not okay to question or denigrate your masculinity or ever start a sentence with a real man. And that is a deal breaker going forward.
Yeah, imagine if the roles were reversed. He stays at her house, her pussy isn't wet after the shower, and he throws a tantrum saying a real woman should be soaking wet for him and accusing her of being a lesbian. Then he gets mad for being thrown out over something so trivial.
If you two were older, I would say break up. Linking this to your masculinity and sexual identity is extremely toxic. If you are inclined to break up, I'd say it's a reasonable choice. She is young and inexperienced. So maybe this is an opportunity for her to grow up, if you want to give it a shot. If so, I would let her know that it's not okay to attack a man's masculinity or sexuality in that way. Tell her it's a deal breaker for you. And if she does it again, then walk away.
No. Your GF is immature, rude, uninformed, and quite homophobic. What the hell? Who could blame her? I can blame her. Every bit of her reaction was toxic. Men don't need to pop a boner every time they see their GF naked. The term, real man, in this context was hurtful and frankly gross. No one should ever shame a partner. Ever. I can't even address the gay, and fuck off. She was beyond wrong and offensive, and I'm glad you kicked her out. There was nothing minor about her reaction, and she owes you a massive apology, not just some lame, "I'm sorry," but an apology that acknowledges how horribly she behaved. Without that, you can count on her doing this sort of shit anytime you don't meet her bizarre expectation of what guys are like in her brain.
She is not worth you, bro. You did the right thing telling her to leave. And it's not up to her, and any other woman, to decide who the real men are. If you expressed towards her such sexual demands, expectations the way she did it towards you, you probably would be blamed for sexual harassment or something.
Sounds like she's immature, inexperienced and uninformed and acted that way. She's young. I think it was very good you called her on it. You certainly don't want her to ever get in the habit of speaking to you that way. If you really care about her and this was an anomaly, if she regularly treats you this badly, then that's another thing, then just tell her she's misinformed and educate her. She seems to have taken it as a personal insult, so explain to her that it's not and see how she responds.
It sound right, boys.